He says that he's in a job and he owns a business as well. The job has helped him establish his business, and half his business is dependent on him continuing in his job, in the sense that the company he works for provides business to the company that he owns. That's what I get from it, Deepak. I hope I'm right. He says he does not know whether the right time has come to quit the job. He's sure that he has the caliber. He says he can perform 200% if he quits his job and just runs his company. But some fear is stopping him from having the freedom of being on his own. He says he does not know what fear is that. Now he cannot withstand undue job pressures. Please help me out, Guruji. Deepak, be cautious of 2 or 3 things. Let me sensitize you. And then surely you are wise enough to know what to do. First, the mind never likes any existing situation. It does not matter what that situation is. It does not matter whether that situation is actually the result of one's own desires and prayers. The mind still does not like it. The mind is always craving for improvement. It wants something different. This is not right, this is not proper. It needs to be a little different. That's what the mind keeps saying. You have a job that offers you money, security, and you are running your own firm, and your own firm is benefiting from the business it gets from the company you work for. The situation seems to have many benefits for you. You do not like this situation. Obviously, there are constraints in this situation. You are bonded. Your time gets divided. There is pressure. Second thing that you must remember is that neither one's own company nor a job are ends in themselves. There is nothing inherently great about being an entrepreneur. And there is nothing essentially limiting about being an employee. There are thousands of entrepreneurs, and they are entrepreneurs because they are chasing their greed. How does it help you if you become a more determined, a more avaricious chaser? It is not about being an employee or an entrepreneur, about working for someone or having one's own company. It's about seeing what keeps you there. It's about seeing what does it do to you. You are putting yourself in a certain environment for many hours through the day. One spends 8, 10, 12 hours of the day working. And add to that the time that you invest in commuting and thinking about work. What does all that do to you? Consider that. If you are an entrepreneur, and what that means is that you will make more money, have more so called freedom, but you will be dealing with a lot of nonsense, a lot of low quality people, and would be living in a low quality environment, would be subjected to undue stress. Then why just run after the badge of entrepreneurship? I must say this because the lure of being a business owner is a great lure. I want to question that. Why do you need to own a business? And I repeat, most people who own businesses do not own them because they are wise or internally advanced. They own businesses because their greed knows no limits. They know that they cannot make so much working for somebody as they can make working for themselves. And what do they do with that money? Does that money really bring their restless mind any peace? You must ask these questions because money in itself is not an end. If money helps you get a suitable environment for yourself, only then money has some practical value. Otherwise, money is just a number. It's a psychological device man uses to fool himself. One's life is sick and miserable, one is lousy, one is tense and anxious, and one consoles himself that he has a lot of money. Of what use is that money to you if day after day you are spending your life in hell? I want to shift the center from where you are weighing these two options. You don't have to choose between your job and entrepreneurship. Choose between the true and the false. Choose between peace and restlessness. Let that be the deciding factor. Hmm? You are saying that there is some fear that is preventing you from flying free. Have the greatest fear. An entire lifetime might go waste. Can there be a fear bigger than that? Fear that fear. One lives firstly with himself. If you are feeling nauseatic, if your head is wobbly, does it matter whether you are wearing an ordinary fabric or the most expensive garment? The outer will not rescue you if the inner is rotten. Take care of the inner. And let me tell you, when you take care of the inner, the inner makes all your decisions very easy for you. It becomes very easy for you to decide. You don't vacillate. This period of indecision is such a torture, is it not? You know that action is beckoning. You know that you must do something, you must proceed and act. And yet you can't act. These phases are some of our worst phases. You will be spared of these phases if you take care of the essential. Decision will become spontaneous. You are with somebody at your job and something happens, and in that moment you can see very clearly the nature of your work, the truth of the enterprise. You will not take a second in submitting your resignation. It will be so obvious. Having seen what this place is all about, how can I continue here any longer? And the decision will not come with torment. The decision will not come with regret. The decision will come with a calmness and peace. You will know that this was the only option. You will know that you have done the inevitable. Hmm? Neither job nor entrepreneurship should be a means to serve the ego. If you are working for greed, then you are serving the ego. And if you are working for fear, you are still serving the ego. A fellow cannot leave his job because he is afraid. Then he is acting for his ego. And a fellow leaves his job because he is greedy. Then he is acting for his ego. Both are same. Are they not same? A fellow continues to be in his job for 20 years because he is afraid that he will lose his security elsewhere. Of course, he is working for his little self and he is using his job as a medium to serve the little self. The little self is the end, the job is the medium. And a fellow is a job hopper. Every 6 months, every 1 year, he switches jobs. And why does he do that? Because he wants quick progress, more money. He too is serving his little self. His job hopping is a medium to serve the little self. So, the question about this job or that job or entrepreneurship is not a very relevant question. The relevant question is, whom are you serving? Whom are you trying to please? What exactly are you trying to get? Yes?